Alrighty, so what are we doing today? Well, basically, we got this entire thing gutted out. Upper A-arm, lower A-arm, shocks out of here, freaking axles, the whole deal. We are going to freaking pull this diff out. I know everybody knows, people talk about it so much and how strong the freaking Turbo S diff is, RS1 diff, they share the same diff. I know they're beefier, they're bigger, they're better, but this one, literally, from our very first off-road trip out west a couple years ago, this thing started leaking shortly after we came back from that trip, and yeah, it's been what it is. You know, it's been something I've been dealing with for the last couple years. Literally, I just drain it and I refill it before every big ride just to make sure this thing stays intact and gets me through. So kind of tired of it, and now that I got all this stuff removed anyways, it just seems like the right time to basically pull that bad boy out of there. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get this diff out. I'm gonna go through the whole entire process, give you guys as much information as I can about getting this out and then rebuilding it. So we ordered a bunch of parts, you know, from Sandcraft, and we're gonna rebuild this thing. We're gonna make this thing bulletproof, and I'm not gonna worry about it anymore, hopefully, for as long as I have the vehicle. So that freaking heater had kick on right when I start talking. But anyways, that's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna pull this bad boy out. I'm gonna show you guys how it's done, and then we're gonna get this diff on the bench, show you guys the internals on that thing, and then show you the Sandcraft parts that I bought, and we'll go through that process, and then we'll get it back in here. And just about that time, hopefully we got some other stuff coming back that needs to go back in here, and this thing will be back on its wheels and ready to rip. So yeah, let's get after it. Once you get to this point and you want to get your diff out, one of the first things you're gonna do is you're gonna freaking punch out this roll pin, and you can do it, I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. You can hit it from this side, driver's side, it's gonna come out one way or another. Sometimes these things can be a major pain, but just hammer away on that thing. If you got an air hammer, just hit that with the, I don't know, get an air pneumatic punch set and drive that bad boy out. Yeah, and actually it's really nice because I have tons of room in here to work around in. And then, you know, I got this zip tied up, and you can get these monster zip ties from any, you know, HVAC store or something like that. You guys usually use those big zip ties for wrapping insulation around stuff, ductwork and whatnot, but it makes it nice, keeps everything out of my way, and it's gonna make this project, you know, pretty nice. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pound that roll pin out. I just went and got this punch set. I don't have a freaking air hammer, so we're just gonna hope for the best here. Well, she's moving, guys, so that's good. And just so you guys know, you never ever reuse one of these. So if you know you gotta remove this, order one, make sure you have it. And she's starting to get pretty easy now. So we've driven her a quarter of the way through. Well, I think she's gone. She's out of there. Dude, that thing came out like a freaking dream. Yeah, not bad at all. All right, so there's your roll pin. Freaking knock that thing out of there, no problem at all. Like I said, sometimes these things are extremely difficult to get out, and you might need a pneumatic hammer or something like that. But yeah, just a little bit of hand tools and a little effort got her done. So there it is. We're gonna move on to the next stage. All right, so we're getting close to getting this bad boy out of here. Obviously, once you get these bolts off, you're gonna get the bolts off this top plate, remove the side bracket there for the steering rack, and then you basically got this vent line right here. If you can see through this hole right here, You're just gonna squeeze. You're gonna squeeze this clamp right here together, move that up on the line, remove that vent line, and pull that out of that vent line routing area right there where you see the light passing through. So I'm gonna do that right now. Vent line's off. So now I'm gonna remove these bolts on both sides, and then I'm gonna remove these bolts that run all the way through the diff, and get these brackets off. And yeah, we should be at the tail end. We should be able to pull this thing out then. So unless there's something else I've missed along the way, I will let you know. But if not, then you'll probably see this diff laying on the table next. Okay, so this is not the table, obviously. I just figured I'd show you this, guys, just for being as descriptive as I can. Well, here it is. Here's the diff sitting in here without the brackets on here. This is the bracket right here. Basically, the diff is bolted to support that thing in there. So basically, this would be sitting in your Turbo S just like this. Diff sitting in here. These bolts run through it, you know, to these two brackets right here. So that's it. So here's the diff sitting free. And basically, she's free. I'm just basically now going to pull this back, get the spline out of that yoke there, and should be good. And just a little note, you know, I always like to take all my hardware, bolts, nuts, whatever, and try to put things back into sections so it's easier for me to remember when I go back to putting it back together, where things were, what direction bolts were, what side washers were on. Another example here, you know, for my A-arms, I got, you know, the bolt ran through there, washer sitting there with the nut. I know that's exactly how that goes when it comes time to putting that back on. But that's just how I do things. I just like to make sure I put it back exactly the way it was, and makes it easy for me. So maybe it'll make it easy for you, and hopefully this diff coming out is going to be easy. I doubt it, so I'm going to put this camera down. I'm going to work this thing until I get it out, and this time you definitely will be seeing it on the bench next. So bear with me, and we'll be right back. Okay, I was wrong again. Had to remove the frickin' steering rack. So boom, steering rack's out, diff out. Yes. All right, let's go over here. We got it on the table. Finally. So anyways, frickin', yeah, pretty sure we have leak problem there. Well, I've started cleaning this up a little bit, but definitely probably leaking off this side. This was the only side that actually is nice and dry, and I think that seal is working. So we're gonna open this bad boy up and obviously replace the seals. But if I'm gonna pull this thing out once, I'm gonna do it only once. And like I said, I ordered a bunch of, well, basically a Sandcraft repair kit, rebuild kit, and we're gonna make this thing bulletproof so I don't ever have to go through that ever again. So in the meantime, I'm gonna clean this bad boy up a little bit more, and then we're gonna break her open and we'll see what we got. I'm sure the fluid looks like crap. Matter of fact, we'll just find out right now. Let's see. There's the vent tube. We'll just freaking let it run out of this and see what we got. Here we go. Let's see. Come on. Yeah, she's pretty saucy. Woo! Doesn't look too good. Anyways, it's definitely not what you want. I mean, this diff leaks so bad. A couple times I drained it. I literally put new freaking diff fluid in this thing almost every ride. You know, I don't show you guys that all the time. Don't need to. It just is what it is. It's been a part of my life since I got this thing. But yeah, a couple times when I drained it before filling it, I mean, it's just pure mud water would pour out of this thing. So but I did my diligence to make sure that I filled this thing with new fluid almost every ride just to keep this thing intact. So anyways, that's pretty much a little backstory on this bad boy. It's been a few days, you know. We had some things we needed to take care of, you know, some things that we got to do outside of the things we want to do. So I'm back here in front of the diff. As you see, I got her super cleaned up, looking good. Bo, Arrow, no. Gotta yell at my dogs here. They're getting a little anxious. When the boys want some ribs, what do? You make some ribs. I got this freaking cardboard nestled all around this thing so we didn't get smoked out in here today. But I mean, there is just racks upon racks of ribs in there, so we're gonna be eating good later. So you guys stay out of the way, okay? No, Arrow, I see what you're up to. I see what you're gonna do. You're trying to sneak through there, but it ain't happening. Come on. So anyways, back to the diff. We got this thing cleaned up. I cleaned it up really good, nice and neat. It's just gonna get filthy again, but hey, you know what? I like working on a clean deal. So we got that going. Heater just kicked on, so apologize for that. But we did get the Sandcraft parts came in, so I did order a Sandcraft rebuild kit for the Turbo S diff. It'll be the same as the RS1. And oh man, look at that. Oh boy, look at that. What else is in here? So we got some parts. We're gonna rebuild this thing. We're not gonna rebuild it OEM. We're gonna rebuild this thing with some aftermarkets. We're gonna make this thing more bulletproof on top of being bulletproof. So yeah, you see we got some new bearings in there. We got some new seals in there. And yeah, it's gonna be nice. So nice kit Sandcraft offers. And then you got your plate, which is made out of billet aluminum, which is freaking super. Okay, come on now, work with me here. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Dude, did you see this plate? Woo, woo, woo. She's fancy. Fancy, fancy. So here we go. Cage plate right there. Gotta love it. Looking good. So those are the parts we're gonna put into here, and hopefully I'll never ever have to remove this thing ever again, because it's definitely something I don't want to do. Will I do it if I have to? Of course I will. But hopefully, you know, with the addition of these Sandcraft parts, this thing is going to be, I mean, phenomenal. More phenomenal than it has been. I can't argue too bad, because this thing has lasted. Even though it's had a leak, it's done what it's needed to do for me. So pretty happy about that. But anyways, I'm going to probably switch to a GoPro, put a little head mount on, and that way I can use both hands, talk a little bit about what's going on while I do this, and you guys can see it in case you guys ever need to go this route and do the same thing here. So I'm gonna do that now. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove these 9 cover screws. Go ahead and set those to the side. All right, so once you got your 9 screws, go ahead and remove your plate cover. Whew. All right, looking good. She's a little saucy, so we're gonna go ahead and drain that a little bit more out as soon as I can find the freaking drain pan.
A little bit longer than a few minutes later.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave this sitting here for a minute. Let that kind of run off on its own. Go ahead and put this thing back down on your bench, and we'll start removing some stuff here. Yeah, we got everything separated here. We got everything from Sandcraft opened up on the table. We got the diff opened up. We got the left output drive. We got the right output drive. A little looseness here though, I'll be honest here. This is, that's a little loose. So thank God we got a replacement for that. I didn't check this one. So the left one feels super tight. Actually feels really good. Well, maybe a little play. Not much, you probably can't even tell on there. Well, yeah, here, look at this. We're gonna get those off of there, and then we're gonna replace those with the Sandcraft versions. All right, so I gotta apologize to you guys. I had this thing going, and I had a dead battery on the camera, so I actually missed quite a bit. I missed pressing out, you know, these bearings on those hubs and getting those pressed in place. And oh, and this thing was a pain in the butt. So if you didn't see how I got this off, I just put a screw in there, but be careful because that thing's down there pretty low, and you don't want to hit this thing. So just go in just a little bit towards the edge here, not too far inside, and then I just put a pry bar on it, pried that thing out, boom, done deal. We're not going to reuse that, so no big deal there. I'm just removing this pinion, getting the freaking clips off of there as you just seen, and we're gonna kind of get this thing out of here and then replace it with this new one from Sandcraft. So sweet.
Many hours later.
I went over and seen my buddy Zach Scholes over at Bluffton Diesel Service, and he actually helped me remove this bearing, get this pinion gear out of here, and well, he went ahead and pressed in the new Sandcraft bearing while we were there. It just made sense. He had a bigger press, and we just got that thing in there, or he got that thing in there for me. So I went and picked this thing back up, and I'm telling you what, he did a fantastic job. So just wanted to say thanks, Zach. I really, really do appreciate it. And I mean, this thing feels so good. I mean, super tight and just solid. Basically what I'm gonna do right now is just make sure this case is clean. Get all the debris, all this loose dirt, everything I can. I'm gonna take this over the air compressor, blow this out. Alright, so sometimes when you freaking blow these parts out, some of the freaking little pieces of metal shavings in there don't want to come out. So I'll just take a little solution, some Q-tips, and I'll just rub around inside each little cavity until I pick them all up. I just need to get as much of that out of there as I can. You can tell there's quite a bit of them in there. So we're just going to do the best we can. Get rid of the majority of it. Even all these little lips. A lot of it just kind of hangs out on there. But you get the idea. I got her cleaned out pretty damn good. Good enough, I'm happy about it. Went in there, Q-tipped all inside every cavity in there. Cleaned it out, wiped it out, blowed it out with compressed air. And cleaned this side. I did a light scouring on each of the mating surfaces on both these, so them things will sandwich back together nice and tight. Let that freaking rubber gasket there do its job. Hold on a second. We're gonna go ahead, pop this seal out, so that's obviously junk. So go ahead and take a socket or anything you got, go ahead and pop those seals out. I'm not going to hold on to this, but I'm going to put this spring back in here just for shits and giggles. Actually, who cares about that thing? But anyways, once you got your seal out of there, go ahead and clean this area really good. Want to make sure we get the best. Want to make sure we got nothing going on in between there. No dirt trapped in there causing us any issues down the road. Just want to really make sure the surface is good before you set your new one in there. So just going to go ahead and take your new seal, and you're going to press this in here. Just make sure that you do it evenly, you know, and you see that, you know, it's inset just a little bit. And get that in there. Now I'm just going to work myself around it. Make sure she's in there really good. There we go. It's in there pretty good. So there it is, new seal. Gotta like that. Alrighty. Okay, let's get this hub and bearing back in here. These seals are tight. We'll give Sandcraft that. These are nice seals. I'm just gonna jam that in there. Come on, man. Okay, so we got the hub in here, and we got it set into that seal. And I mean, that Sandcraft seal is super tight, so I'm feeling really good about this. Honestly, I really don't think this thing's gonna leak anymore. That is nice. That bearing from them and that seal, whoo, it feels good. So far, everything feels really good. Super stoked. All right. Remember, hold this as one piece. Not gonna lie, my buddy came over here and we were pressing in his bushings. I'm not gonna say who, but he just lifted this up and bam, all the rollers, everything went flying. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny, not funny. You know who you are.
But anyways, I'm gonna clean this out a little bit with some Q-tips. Make sure I ain't got any loose debris in here. Wipe this off a little bit. These blue shop rags are amazing. I need about 1,000 rolls of these bad boys. I've been bringing paper towels home and stuff from the diner, which works out pretty good. But sometimes they leave a little debris behind. And these blue shop towels seem to work really good. Super impressed with them. Anyways, looking good right there. Like I said, you're gonna make sure to hold this as one piece. Don't pull that sprag out of there. I mean, not the end of the world. It's not the easiest trying to get all those set inside those clips and then getting that thing set back down in there. So just word to the wise. Keep that in mind when you're handling that thing. All right, so when I picked that up, the gear spacer stuck to that rag. Do not forget to put that in there. So you want to make sure they got that on there. Oh my God, are you shitting me? You got to be freaking kidding me. Exactly what I told you guys not to do or to be careful of, I just did. So, well, I guess you're going to get an idea what that's like if that happens. So you're going to want to hold all these bad boys because they're all going to want to come out on you. And just place these things in one by one. So not a big deal. It's just, if you don't have to do it, you're better off. Once you get a lot of them on here, that's when it's going to start becoming a problem. Jeez. What I was going to do is I was going to take this gear spacer and I was just going to put it on here. So I was lifting that up and freaking sure enough. But that's all right. These things happen. Gotta expect the unexpected sometimes when you're dealing with this crap. Don't let it get to you. This last two will probably be the most pain. Or maybe not. It's actually going together pretty easy. Oh my. Alright, so super simple. I got lucky. Anyways, make sure you got your gear spacer in there. Hold this thing like it's one piece. Check, make sure. Got no weird debris in there, anything funky. Looks really good. Okay, and if all goes well, that thing will slide right into its place and you'll know it's good. Spin this thing around. This thing feels solid. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. Super pumped. Jacked. I'm jacked. Alright, so here we are to this bad boy. Make sure you got your springs in there. They're all set in there good. Doesn't this look good? Whew, it's a good looking piece. Just feels good when you put good shit in your machine, don't it? Don't it just feel good? Okay, pretty simple. I mean, I don't think I need to tell you guys. You know where this thing's gonna go. It's gonna set right into that Springs are gonna drop right into place. Boom, there she goes. So we got this thing about 90% complete. Feels good, really smooth, very smooth. And you see how them rollers roll across that hub. Looking good, feeling good. Oh, this is exciting, super exciting. Oh, sorry, Bubba. So here's the last hub. Guys, Amy just called me and says she is ready to eat, so I'm gonna freaking walk away from this for a second. I'm gonna take her to go get something to eat, and then I'll be right back to finish this up, and we'll close this bad boy up. But yeah, I'm super pumped. This thing is coming together really well, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm ready to get this thing freaking done. So where am I at now? Okay, got all this in. Still have not changed the seal for this, so here, let's go ahead and knock this thing out. Knock this thing out real quick. Shouldn't be a big deal. Oh shoot, this thing's coming out easy. Boom. That was not very exciting. All right, there's all the junk stuff there. So I'll wipe this thing out. Make sure she's super clean. Want the next one to go in perfectly. So compress these in. Can hammer it in a little bit. Freaking dogs are going nuts. I smell them ribs still smelling here from a couple nights ago. Whew, those things work good. You can just gently tap this thing in. You can press it in if you want. Whatever makes you happy. Not that big a deal. Alright, I'm happy with this. So we're gonna go ahead, get the other hub in here. Alright, we'll see how easy this one's gonna go. Yeah, I don't think this thing's gonna leak anymore. At least I sure hope not. I think I'm just gonna set this down, do it like I did the other one. Oh man, that went way too easy. Way too easy. Yeah, I love that. God, it's so tight. Oh, it feels good. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's we got everything that we ordered from Sandcraft installed. Everything feels really good. The seal's really good, and basically just gonna put this bad boy back together. So I'm just snugging everything down. I'm gonna go ahead, get my torque wrench. All right, so we're gonna set this thing to 11 foot-pounds, lock it in place, and we're gonna do this thing, make sure she's good. As you can see, it does not take much. It's not take much at all. All right, dudes. Frick yeah, this is it. We got it. Now, this is what you call an indestructible diff. Our friends at Sandcraft sent the goods. We got them installed. I mean, this thing feels solid. Oh my gosh, everything. It just feels so good. If this thing leaks, that's it. I'm just gonna let it leak for the rest of its life. But I'm thinking it's not gonna. I mean, them seals look really good. Everything went together really good. And I don't know, just fingers crossed that everything works out good. Thanks again to Zach. Appreciate you getting this freaking pinion bearing in there. So I guess it's time to put this thing back together, guys.
Hopefully this thing now is completely bulletproof, and just want to say thanks to the guys at Sandcraft for getting these parts out to us. And yeah, super easy install. I mean, putting the diff back together with the Sandcraft parts was so much easier than actually getting the diff out. So hopefully never have to go through this again. I really hope not. Fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this thing back in Gunner, and we got a few other things coming for Gunner, so I'll be excited to get this back in. Most of that front end put back together, and then yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what comes next for Gunner. So thanks again for watching. We appreciate it. You guys want any of this Lulu's swag, any of this cool stuff right here, just go to lulusoffroadshop.com, check that stuff out, and if anything in there you know, catches your eye, freaking just click that button and we'll get it sent out to you right away. Other than that, like the video, subscribe, share, and we'll see you guys real soon, okay? Thanks again. See ya. Alright guys, so I figured it probably wasn't fair to leave you hanging. I might as well show you the diff. I got it installed. Took me a little while, but as you can see, she's in there. Looking good. Everything's tightened down. Everything's torqued down to spec. And yeah, I am super pumped to get past this hurdle right here. So the rest of this is gonna be a breeze. And yeah, if you guys got to do this, just don't forget to freaking pound in your new roll pin. Make sure you use a new one. Torque everything down the way it needs to be. If you guys want to know, I might as well just tell you. Let's see if I can remember. All right, so these are going to be 22 foot-pounds. These are going to be 42 foot-pounds. You're going to use 18 foot-pounds, 18 foot-pounds on all four on the top plate. You're going to do 55 foot-pounds here, and then an extra 180 degrees, and I think that pretty much covers it all. Yeah, sweet. So, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I will tell you anything I can. So, yeah, that's it. The diff's in. Sweet. I'm ready to move on and get the rest of this thing put together. And then, obviously, do not forget to put your diff fluid in there when you're done. That would just suck. Yeah, alright. So, I'm going to leave you with that, guys. I'm out of here. I'm going to go in. I'm calling it a night. Tomorrow I'm going to come out here, get everything else put back on. And, yeah, I'm ready to rip this thing again. So, cool. See you guys.